Hey, 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 welcome everybody. Happy Tuesday. I'm your brand buddy, Patrick Sesko, and welcome to another episode of Brand Marks the Spot, a show where we talk about all things branding and design so you can grow your business and impact more people and make a living doing it, right? So today's episode is why you need a mentor and how to find one. And I'm just going to basically tell you how I've kind of found my mentors and how I've gone about working with them and those kinds of things. But before we get started, I want to say that this episode is brought to you by my brand roadmap. If you are an online entrepreneur and you are trying to grow your brand and you're selling your product or services, you need a visual brand. This will walk you through all of the steps, my 4D branding roadmap process to build a brand that's going to land with your ideal customers and build that know, like, and trust factor. So go ahead and grab that at patricksesko.com/brand roadmap. Let me just check here. Okay, good. Yeah, so go ahead and do that. And let's get on with the show, as Gary Vee would used to say. So anyways, today we're going to be talking about mentors, finding a mentor, why you need one, and how to find one. And let's start off first with what is a mentor? Basically, a mentor is somebody that kind of takes you under their wing and kind of gives you guidance, and they're usually farther ahead than you are in whatever it is that they're doing. If you look back into like high school, a lot of times coaches were mentors to football players, on the field, obviously, but also off the field, teach them about life lessons because they're older and they have more experience and wisdom in life. And they're usually, a mentor is usually somebody you want to model after, whether it's, in the case of a high school student, it's like just being a good person. Oftentimes ministers and preachers are mentors, co-workers and things like that. But in the online business world, a mentor is somebody that you see who you want to emulate in terms of how they're running their business, and they're further ahead than you are. They're where you want to be, and you kind of want to model their ascension, if you will, into where they are. And you take advice from them and you follow them online and whatnot. So the role of that mentor is basically to take you on under their wing and impart that wisdom on you to help you move farther along. And the reason why you need a mentor is there's a quote and I can't remember who says the quote, but it's kind of a well-known little anecdotal quote where it says, if you want to go slow, do it alone. If you want to go fast, to do it with somebody else. So in business, that rings true because when you're working in a vacuum, it's much harder to make progress because you're always second guessing yourself. You don't have somebody to bounce ideas off of. You don't have somebody to emulate and follow and be inspired by. And that's why it's important to have the mentor. And so that role of the mentor, like I said, is to take you under their wing and to impart their wisdom and knowledge so you can use that inspiration to help you in your business. How do you find a mentor? Well, you probably have a mentor whether you know it or not already. And a mentor is somebody who might write books, right? I can't find my books. I had some books. I don't know what I did with them. But if you're reading books or you're following podcasts or you're watching a video show like this, those are mentors. So a big misconception with mentorship is that you have to like work one-on-one with this person. And that's just simply not true. Now, ideal, that's great to do that. But typically that's a paid coaching kind of situation. So you probably have mentors already. So think about the podcasts that you follow or listen to, or videos that you watch, or people that you follow on Instagram. Who are the people that you want to emulate in terms of how you run your business? So those are ways to find mentors online. And another good way, and this is how I've done it, So I've done it by like, over the past, 5 years, I've purchased courses, I've taken workshops, I've followed people online, I've downloaded freebies and done little free workshops. And I've had dozens and dozens of different mentors, some of whom, I didn't click with, and I tried out their thing and I followed them for a little bit, but it wasn't a good fit from a personality standpoint. And others I've taken courses from where I have kind of taken what I've gotten from them, and that was essentially, I don't want to say I've used them up, but like at some point the mentorship doesn't fit anymore, right? So it has to be a good fit. So you're going to have a lot of trial and error and finding these people. So my suggestion is to get out there on your social medias, follow your mentors, interact with them online, provide value, and if you want to get noticed by them, that's what you have to do. And a lot of times, let's say you're following somebody who's pretty high up in terms of notoriety. Let's say, I don't know, a Jasmine Star, or in my case, an Amy Porterfield, who is a mentor of mine, and I have chatted with her online, but I've never met her in person. But I've been a part of her groups for 3 years now. So while she was pretty well known and established when I came into her world, I was still being mentored by her through her content, through her courses, through her coaching programs. And it's those types of things that are going to help you move your business along, because without that, you're just kind of second guessing. So like, you follow the people who have gone before you, and then you can emulate them and kind of get feedback. So another way is, another way to find a mentor is, so in Amy Porterfield's group, for in my instance, is I met several people who were, kind of coming up along the same times as me, and some people are moving faster or slower than others. But you're in these communities and you're connecting with these people and you're providing value, answering questions, asking questions, sharing things, and not, being promotional, right? So you want to provide some sort of value. And I know that's like sort of been oversaid so much these days, but it's very true. It's like, if you got to provide value, not in a contrived way, just like be helpful, help somebody out. Somebody has a question. When I would go into these communities and, people would say, "Oh, how do you create a graphic?" And I would be like, "Well, what are you trying to do?" And then I would actually just create a quick graphic for them and show them how to do it, right? I'm not going to charge them for them. Sometimes I'd share a freebie without an opt-in. So it's all of these little things. And the people who sort of own those communities, they notice that stuff. And so that's how you get into somebody's radar from a mentorship standpoint. And in Amy Porterfield's group, I actually met several other entrepreneurs who I have become, friends with, and who have become mentors with me. One of whom is, Bobby Klink. You probably heard me talk about him, and he's been a tremendous mentor to me. And I kind of got lucky because I met him in Amy Porterfield's community, and he was relatively new at starting his business. He's super prolific at his content creation, so he's much further along in his business, but I really liked his style. I liked his values. We sort of had a lot in common. We had a similar audience. And so I just started like interacting with him online, and it's kind of nice because I sort of got in before he became sort of known, and, we become friends and all, but he's still my mentor. I still am in his courses and programs. And finding a mentor isn't always about finding something that's free. Mentorship, you can pay for mentorship in the form of coaching, books, podcasts, videos, paid trainings, courses, group coaching, one-on-one coaching. So yeah, sometimes you pay for your mentorship and coaching. So mentorship isn't always free. And then lastly is that, if you're an online, an expert in whatever, product or service you offer, you are most likely going to be a mentor to somebody else without you even knowing it. So keep that in mind when you're doing your stuff and when you're putting your stuff out there. What are your values? What kind of wisdom can you impart on your audience to help them along and bring them up? Lift as you climb, as they say. So this was kind of a last minute. I was going to talk about something else, but because I have been so impacted by my mentors, this past year, and we are coming to an end on the calendar. I really wanted to kind of just share this with you. It's nothing groundbreaking or anything like that, but you know, it's so important to have a group of people that you can connect with online, whether they're peers. You can have mentors as peers as well, but you gotta get in with people and just bring each other up, right? Because especially in this online world, it can get very lonely, and you can get lonely and boring sometimes if you're by yourself. So um, take that into consideration too. So remember, to find a mentor, well, first of all, types of mentors are going to be books, podcasts, videos. Even though you're not connecting with them one-on-one, you're still receiving their wisdom through those vehicles. Paid trainings, whether it's courses or programs or workshops. If you can get into group coaching where you can, have some one-on-one time with your mentor, that's ideal, but that's usually going to be a cost or a premium. And how to find a mentor is to obviously, look at the books that you're reading, look at the podcast that you're reading, get onto their lists, get into their communities, whether it's groups or whether it's Instagram. Follow them, follow what they're doing, follow their example. Notice how they're interacting with their audience, right? And then you can emulate that with your own audience. So and just offer that value. So, contribute to their community, find people who are in a place that you want to be, and they're, further ahead than you are. And that way you can stair step along with them and sort of, I don't want to say ride their coattails, because again, you want to provide value, but at the same time, you got to build your own business as well. So that's just a quick little ditty for you guys today about mentorship. And as we close up 2021, I want you to go ahead and try and find a mentor if you don't already have one, or if you do, look, kind of examine the relationship that you have. Do you actually have do you know each other? Have you corresponded, or is it just, are you just following this person's content online, and how is it impacting you, or how can you contribute to their communities, whether it's, commenting your perspective on a post that they made, or whether it's connecting with other people in their audience and providing value to them, because that mentor will appreciate that. So that's what I got for you today. Find your mentor. 2021. Let's hopefully kind of put 2020 behind us. Look at your trials and tribulations from this past year and focus on where you want to go this coming year. Find some mentors and pick a couple of things to focus on what you want to improve. And that's what I got for you guys this week. I'm your brand buddy, Patrick Sesko. Thanks for tuning in. If you're here catching the replay, just type in a hashtag replay. If you have any questions, just drop a comment below and I will respond. And you guys have a wonderful Tuesday. I will see you next week. Have a good one. Later.